everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this live stream. We're very excited to have Miriam Bogler with us today from Project PALS. So Keep Indiana Learning has partnered with a lot of awesome folks who can bring solutions to your schools. And with the new digital learning grant that was just launched by the Department of Education, we're sharing with you partners who can help find solutions for your needs. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Miriam.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Miriam Bogler. I'm the founder and CEO of Project PALS. Before creating Project PALS, I used to be a computer teacher. I used to have students come to my computer lab and work on projects. And I started noticing that they were struggling with problem solving and critical thinking. And based on this experience in the classroom, I created Project PALS. And let me just shift here for a minute. And so we are great believers in project-based learning. There's plenty of research that backs the fact that project-based learning increases learning outcomes. In fact, just in last February, the George Lucas Foundation came out with 4 studies together with 5 major universities that says that project-based learning increases learning outcomes. However, implementing project-based learning and inquiry-based learning is challenging because it's difficult for a teacher to manage multiple projects, especially if the teacher has many classes. And it's also difficult to determine in a team who did what in the project. And so what we did is an all-in-one platform to manage classroom projects and collaborative learning. And the fact that we did it in technology makes projects easier to manage. That is why also companies are using softwares like Trello, Monday, and Jira to manage projects within the company, but not just that, within the country and sometimes within the entire world. And that is also the reason why in 2025, it's going to become an $8 billion business. Yet we have not seen much of that in education. Our mission is to make high-quality project-based learning accessible for all students. And what that means is that the teacher can design and plan a project. The students can collaborate in real time. Teachers can monitor and respond in real time, and projects can be shared with parents and with people outside of the school. You can design an original project or choose from our more than 200 projects in the Project PALS catalog that you can immediately assign to students and they can immediately start working. Students can collaborate in real time, and what that means that any project asset that they contribute can be seen by their team members in real time. So if I'm moving one of these text boxes or images, they will be able to see that as it happens. The teacher can monitor student progress with transparency and accountability. And we record any student contribution into the application. And using these charts that you see here, the teacher can see how much time they spent in the system, how many sessions in and out they did, how many actions they performed, and how many collaboration. And by that, we mean that they worked on the same project asset together, or they commented on for each other. They commented on any contribution, and then we can also see averages. This pie chart that you see here shows what % of the work was done by each student. This is the only analytics that students can see. And our experience shows that this is something that motivate students because nobody likes to be the smallest piece of the pie. So let me just shift here to the application itself. And this is Project PALS. And what you see here, all these are project tiles that were created by me. This is the My Drafts area where projects are being authored before the teacher assigns them to the class. The plus button here allows you to create new projects. There are 3 ways to create project in Project PALS. One of them is to use our more than 200 projects in the Project PALS catalog that you'll be able to immediately clone and assign it to students. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. The other 2 is one of them is to use our project wizard that allows you to mix and match one-tab templates in a way that will customize creation of the project for you, so that you don't have to create it from scratch. Yet on the other hand, you can fit it to your specific needs. And the third one, once you feel really comfortable using Project Pulse, you can create a project from scratch using the plus button here. So let me just shift to the catalog here and show you. And so these are our projects in the catalog. We have different types of projects. Um, we have an orientation project, that you'll be able to see. We have starter projects that are, that are last no more than a day or two, and they are usually no more than 1 to 2 tabs, like things like a brainstorm template. We have templates. We have which are more general topics, like I don't know, a historical event or even a biography, or more general topics. And then we have lesson plan. Lesson plans are more subject specific. They will include things like, for example, can you teach me, or producing a documentary, or should ants be protected or have that population controlled. And I mean, you have a diverse set of projects in the catalog that try to cover most of the subjects. But of course, this is not an exhaustive, because we are not a content company, but we are providing this for our users so that they get used to projects before they start creating their own. And we also have completed projects so that the teacher can see what to expect of a project that students have finished. And we have quite a collection here of those. So this is the way to, and again, when you are in the catalog and you decide that one of these projects is good for you, and you do that by clicking on the link here, and you go into the project, check it out and see if this is something you like. And once you decide that it is, you can just press the clone button and clone it, and it will create a copy for you that you can then edit and and then assign it to your classroom. In addition to the Project Plus catalog, of course, you can import your classes. We either create or import your classes. If you are a Google Classroom school, then you can just click here and go to create class, and it allows you to import your classes. If you are not, that's fine too. You can just type in the name of your class and you can create your classes that way. A classroom looks something like this. So let's say that I am going into a science class here. So you see the name of the class. You see a few menu items on the top. One of them is the project. This is where you see all your students' projects. Although they are the same image, you'll be able to distinguish between them by the names that show up on them. And then you have the roster here, the class, and you have the names of the students, the names of the teachers. You can co-teach, co-author projects. In this case, you are co-teaching. The way to do that, just provide the class code to the other teacher, and they can then, once they are signed up to Project Pulse, they can then join the class. They can also give that, if you decide to do a project together with another classroom, you can also create a combined class and provide that class code to other students in the class. And this is also the way by which you can easily collaborate with people outside of your state, with students outside of your state, or even outside of the country. And then of course, there's two ways to assign project to the class. One of them is to, you decide who's going to be in the team, but the other one, you can also delegate. And when you delegate, when you assign a project, the projects will end up here. Your students will come in here, and the team leader will start the project and add the other team members. So both ways are possible. So let me just for a minute show you how project looks within Project Pulse. And to do that, I'm going to move on to actually an existing project that we got permission to show you from a school in Nevada that was doing a project about pandemics in the world. And surprisingly, this project was done a few months before we even knew about the pandemic existed. So this teacher definitely had some prophetic powers. And so she divided the classroom to teams, and each team was supposed to choose one of the one of the pandemics, and this team chose polio. So as you see here, there's two areas here. One of them is the project dashboard that has details. It has the team members. It has standards, very easy to add standards. Supporting materials, you can add, and the students can add that. You can create tasks, and students can create tasks for the project. And as I said, project can be assigned to teams that you decide who they are, or you can delegate. You can publish a project that you create and other teachers would like to use. You can publish it to the school or the district catalog, and then they can then clone that project and use it for their students. You can add rubrics in the evaluate section and analytics. And analytics, this is one of the most powerful features of Project Pals, where you can see what % of the work was done by each student. This is something that the students can see, this pie chart, but then you can see this. You can see the entire analytics of what they did, and you can go day by day and see what type of performance was done, how many actions they performed, how many sessions in and out they did, how many observations, how much time they spent in the system, and averages. You can also get that information in a table format, and that same pie chart that students can see, you can see as well as what type of contributions were made, whether it was text or images or all the other types of tools that you have in the workspace. And then this is the workspace. This is where students are doing the work that, you have a lot of scaffolding that we provide here, and students can just come in and do the research and type in the information. In this case, they did the key elements of polio. Projects can be divided into tabs or into phases. So each tab represents one part of the project or one element of the project that's absolutely necessary for them to be able to solve the final problem. And so each of them, in this case, how the polio developed, and this is main factors influencing the outbreak. Yes, we also have a relationship tool that enables to connect any object to any other object. So you can also create mind maps within Project Pals. And finally, the consequences of the polio in the world. And so this teacher told us that she had never seen her students so highly engaged when they were doing this project. And this is a Title I school in Nevada that did this. So this was an amazing achievement. She and another teacher assigned it to 400 students within a week. And when they finished the project within 2 weeks. So this was an amazing accomplishment for them. So so this is Project Pause. And now what we are offering for everybody here, for the rest of the academic year, we are offering a free trial. So if you're interested, we'll be happy to set you up with an account. And for the rest of this academic year, you can use it. You can create project with your students and see how it works for you. We also provide a 1 hour free of charge training. So you're not going to feel that you cannot handle this, because we want to make sure that you really feel comfortable when you start using it. So thank you very much. And I hope that this was helpful and that you will get back to us and try the application.
Miriam, thank you so much for sharing this today. It's obvious to me, especially as a former STEM teacher, that this was created by an actual STEM teacher, right? Because it is so user-friendly, and it does absolutely help with every solution that's needed to be able to help students to be engaged, to work together, and also, though, for the teacher to be able to track exactly who's doing what and when. And so that is fantastic. How have you, like, are there feedback that you've received from schools who have used this, that are particular pieces that they really like more than any of the other features, or has really made a difference for their solution?
So we actually have our website that has testimonials and has videos there of students and teachers providing feedback. What we heard is the analytics is an amazing piece there. I mean, in addition to everything, we also have a dashboard that gives you a daily report of what's going on, what are the, for example, for a district, what are the active schools and what are the active teachers and active students right now and active projects. And for a teacher, it will give them active students and active projects. And then you'll be able to even link to that. I mean, it provides so much. So the analytics is a very thorough piece of feature in the application that teachers really love. And in addition to that, of course, they love the project management part, because that's a big challenge for teachers. But please feel free to go to our website and projectpals.com, and there are testimonials there, and including videos of students, telling what they think about work in Project Pals.
And it's an amazing opportunity also for that free trial for teachers to be able to jump in and experience that with their students. And that would definitely help springboard into the next school year then, as they are familiar with how to use it and ready to go. So just a reminder, for the digital learning grant, there are 3 strands that the grant focuses on. So building teacher capacity and learning for high quality blended and online learning instructional practices and strategies as outlined in the educator's standards. And I can see for sure in those instructional practice pieces tying in here that could link in. Also strengthening teacher capacity and learning of universal design for learning, UDL. Instructional strategies to support blended and online learning. Again, this aligns perfectly, because students could either work on this from home or at school. Either way, they can use this feature, and teachers can use this feature. So it really provides a lot of flexibility and connectedness no matter where the student is and where the teacher is. So that's today a really, really important solution. And then the final piece is implementing strategies to address data presented by the DOE on academic impact of COVID-19 learning disruptions, and specifically those most impacted student populations in those current blended and online learning environments. And so the fact that you have so many data analytics built in, that could really help schools address those pieces. So thank you so much for sharing this solution with us today. And we're excited for folks to get to have a trial run.
Try